Hi, everybody, and welcome to the September 5th, 2024 edition of the KubeStellar Community Meeting. What you see in front of you is the agenda and notes. You can get there and read along with us by going to kubestellar.io/join us. That will give you not only access to this note and other artifacts that we keep in the public domain, but it'll also get you an invite to this meeting if you're watching this on replay on YouTube on our TV channel. For those of you that have joined us, thank you very much. And for your participation, if you'd like to be on camera, turn it on. If you don't, turn it off. If you want to be audio, turn on your mic. If you don't, turn it off. Thank you. Okay, so we are part of the CNCF Sandbox project. And as such, we abide by a contributor code of conduct. I'll just go ahead and read it out here. As contributors and maintainers in the CNCF community and in the interest of fostering an open and welcoming community, we pledge to respect all people who contribute through reporting issues, posting feature requests, updating documentation, submitting pull requests or patches, and other activities. We are committed to making participation in the CNCF community a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of level of experience, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, personal appearance, body size, ethnicity, race, age, religion, or nationality. Basically, that means just please everybody be nice to each other. It's a good rule of thumb anyway. There's room for everybody here. Okay. So let's see, we're moving on. I'm just gonna really quickly, let's see. Sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't. I don't see it right now. All right, never mind. We'll leave the beeps on. It's not gonna be that bad. All right, as I stated earlier, if you're new to this and you want to get an invitation, go to kubestellar.io/join us. You can use a join _ us or join us. Please join, once you do get access, go ahead and fill in that you've attended. That will let us know that you've got access. And you can get to this set of meeting notes if you have access already by going to kubestellar.io/agenda. All right, I see some new folks on the line, so thank you very much for joining. All right, so let's get started. Just a couple of quick notes. So I've had some emails recently that have been transpiring. The CNCF's been awfully active, Linux Foundation. They've given us the hint that there is some Oracle Cloud Compute available. So if we decide that we'd like to test on other platforms other than IBM Cloud, Oracle Cloud is available, the OCI platform. And you can use things like GitHub Actions to spin up, tear down clusters, et cetera, et cetera. So because all the projects that are in either Sandbox, Incubating, or Graduated are using some form or another of this OCI platform, and you got to imagine that the GitHub Actions are also easy to share amongst each other. So, common functions like spinning up and down clusters or deploying things to clusters I'm assuming are there. And if not, we could help forge that as well. So for another way to get involved with the CNCF, that's something that's available to us. Any comments or questions there? Okay. All right. So some of this is informed by things that we were doing 2 weeks ago, and we didn't have the opportunity to have a pre-meeting for this particular meeting today because Monday was a holiday here in the US, but I'm going based on what we still have in the meeting notes now. So if you have anything to add to the agenda, please do so at this time. All right, the create only bit. So we had done this back in 0.14 and now it's been brought forward. The good part about it is that now you have the option to create something like a job, have it deployed, and not overwrite it with the beginning of the job's initial status, the job's initial specification, which was the initial time that it was deployed and what it was set to do as in terms of its tasks. So therefore, you won't clobber it, and it'll run its life expectancy, and then report back its status. I think that was being part of what release, is this 0.24 that's coming out in pre-release, Mike?
Yeah, the two main features in 0.24, there's really three things that we're trying to get out in the 0.24 release. One is the website reorg. We did a lot of work on making the website better. Another is this create only bit. Another is the combined status functionality.
Okay, right, and we've got this dark mode that we've been experimenting with too, which is good. Okay, good.
It's further down in the agenda.
Yep, got it. All right. Okay, so I guess we've got a little bit left to do in terms of merging the repos, the sub repos. Is that correct? Or
Right, it's not over till the fat lady sings. I've got PRs that need to be reviewed, merged. We need to make a test release and actually test it. And if we're lucky, it'll work. And more likely, we'll find some bugs and they'll need to get fixed.
okay. All right. A combination of the OCM transport plugin. So that's what's under the knife. So I guess I'll just leave that there. All right. Okay, so we still have that all-in-one demo environment deployment script. I'm hoping that the folks from the Interns for Open Source program will get to the point where they're fluent in Kubernetes, KubeStellar, and can help us create documentation around how to use such an all-in-one deployment, because I'm sure they'll feel the same druthers of having to repetitively do the same tasks each time they need to either deploy, tear down, or submit things to be transmitted across our infrastructure. So this is something that I think we can expect reasonably that IFOS, all IFOS documentation to use this. Right. So this was a script that was done by a prior IFOS program, and maybe this IFOS program can pick it up and take it one step further. Cool. All right, performance testing. Braulio, anything you want to add?
Yes, so I'm finished up the architecture to conduct the performance test working with Mike, and last week we merged a PR with instructions of how you can generate the benchmark workload that takes workload sample from KubeBench to and using cluster loader tool to generate workloads in a WDS space per se. And now I'm finish up a PR and be done with today that collects the timestamp for all the objects that I create on the life cycle when an object is deployed on WDS until it's sunk to the WAC. We apply the timestamp for the creation and for status update. This is gonna help us to compute the end-to-end latency and the latency at each steps. We already had the initial script for that, but that was just focused on to collect it for pods. But now I have been extending that script to collect for other objects like services, the deployments, config maps per se. And the PR is basically done. I'm just run some more tests, make sure that the results are accurate per se. And the second thing I have been working on that is just that to finish up these architectures is how to instrument the WACs with the monitoring tools, and this will be again Prometheus and Periscope, and because we can have several WACs and we have two layers of Prometheus, one on the core and one on the WAC. So I'm planning to use Thanos to so that the WACs Prometheus can send the data to the Thanos on the core, and we can have a single storage and single pane of glass to observe all the monitors and metrics for for the control plane and for the wax. Yes, that's what I'd like to share.
Okay, thank you. Anybody with any questions for Braulio? Okay. All right. Thank you, Braulio. Okay, Kevin, I think this is primarily you, if you want to comment on dark mode.
Yeah, so we had an issue that a number of our images did not render well in dark mode. They had transparent backgrounds, and so all of the connecting lines in our diagrams disappeared. At this point, everything in the site that is a bitmap or an SVG file now toggles properly. And all of the requirements have been updated so that it will respond to system settings in your browser. So if you're set to dark, it will automatically render in dark mode, which is that was a little bit of a challenge. We had some back level code. Mike just discovered that the mermaid diagrams have the same issue. And so we have not opened a issue on that. That would be a good first issue for someone, but I'm investigating how mermaid does its themes. I was noticed, I think, on the packaging page in particular.
Okay. I was just looking around. I thought I just saw something funky happen, but I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, so there is one subtle thing people may or may not notice. The blues change slightly going into dark mode so that the relative intensity is similar for the reader with the different backgrounds.
Yeah. I know it's just a small little nit, but this thing acts like a button where it raises and falls. I don't really care, but yeah. Anyway.
That's how the browser renders the icon.
Yeah, no, that's really
that's not something we have control over.
I don't even know why I pointed it out. It's dumb. Thanks, Kevin. It looks great. Thank you for all the hard work, and Mike, thanks for the contributions there too. All right. Summarization work. I think this is, well, as Mike mentioned earlier, I think this is released. This is in the 2.4 pre-release and will be in the full release when it's ready. Anything anybody would like to make mention of in the summarization work? Combined status? Okay.
I think there may be still some work on that in progress.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, Maroon has a PR open adding propagation data or metadata, depending on how you want to think of it. And that's really just the start of that. It's a really unsatisfactory start on that. We should do more about that.
Okay. All right, good. That's good. That's good that there's still progress going on that front. We've been looking to tackle that for years, so that's great. All right. Okay, any questions, comments about summarization? All right. Okay, IFOS, we've got 4 candidates, 2 of which have joined us. And thank you very much for joining us, Brian and Milana. Brian and Milana are both from Valencia College in Orlando. Brian and Milana, would you like to introduce yourselves, or you don't have to? There's no obligation. All right, I'll take that as a no. If you change your mind, let us know.
You hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. So, name is Brian.
Looks like you're in a bad spot, Brian. You're fading in and out. All right, if you get into a better place, try us again, all right? Okay. Milana, anything you'd like to say, or we don't I don't mean to put you on the spot. We can just move on.
I'm not sure what to say if you guys can hear me, but
We can hear you.
my name is Milana. I'm here to like get some experience with like coding in the KubeStellar program.
Thank you, Milana, for joining us. We appreciate it. All right, so Brian and Milana are 2 of the 4 candidates we have. You'll see the other one, Krish and Sebastian. So a funny little note, Mike, you may have, I don't know if you've worked with any of the folks in KCP, but You know Sebastian Scheel, who is part of the KCP program?
Yes.
So we have Sebastian Steele as part of our IFOS program. And I missed and made a mistake by inviting Sebastian Scheel to the IFOS program the other day, and he was like, "I don't think I'm supposed to be here." So I thought it was funny and comical. Anyway, figured you'd get a laugh out of that. So yeah, so I've got also interviews. I'm going to be bringing a presentation tomorrow afternoon to the folks at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, and the hope is that we have another 2 folks joining us from that specific space. What's great is the fall is not really a popular option for folks in the program, but they've decided to be with us anyway because there is a full course load. Typically, folks do this in the summer, but even in the summer, people are working a full-time job or something, so there's always a complication. So I'm just really delighted and excited that these folks have taken the time and to further their careers and to help us along the way as well. So thank you very much for joining. All right. Next up, KCD. So I've booked a travel. I'll be heading down to Washington, D.C. at the end of the month. Be doing a talk on blue-green canary deployments. It'll dovetail with what I've already posted online in a blog. And so that's KubeCon Day in Washington, D.C. KubeCon North America, we were fortunate enough to have 2 accepted talks, one on digital agriculture, one on scalability testing, both by Braulio. Thank you, Braulio. Fantastic contribution. We're happy to be there rooting for you in the crowd to see how you take these on. If you need any help preparing for presenting, if you'd like to test your presentation, or you'd like to work with any of us to build the presentation, I'm sure any of us here would be more than happy to help you out with that. Thank you for representing us.
Thank you, and thank you too.
You're welcome. We are still waitlisted on the IFOS program, which is cool, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen waitlisted in the past, and it's very rare that you get selected. So I think that there's a 50-50 chance that gets accepted or not. I'm not willing to flip a coin right now to find out. We'll know in the weeks ahead. Also, the Project Pavilion, we did get a seat there. We'll be there on Wednesday, November 13th from 10:30 a.m. to 3:15 in the afternoon. That's Mountain Time. Also, we have a tech discussion table as well. So we got applied, we have. So that should also be at the same time, and that'll give us the opportunity to talk with potential clients and customers. We'll see how that goes. And we also have a lightning talk, and so we'll be scheduled to do that as well. So yeah, overall we have about two talk opportunities, maybe a third, and we have 2 opportunities to introduce the project, both from the pavilion and the lightning talk. The lightning talk is an ad from last year, which is great, a net ad, and the 2 talks are a net ad from last year. So this is coming from KubeCon EU. Given the amount of traffic and the information that the folks at the CNCF and Linux Foundation are inundated with at this time of the year, especially for North America, I think this is a great accomplishment. You may not think it because it's a low percentage of the number of that we've actually submitted, which were 12 total. But I think it's a good accomplishment. It's a good step forward. So when they do announce EU, I will be sure to tackle that as well and try and figure out another way. This year, I was asked to be part of the evaluation committee for the talks. Not that that would have helped or hurt us, but I was not able to take it because I had a lot of other commitments that I couldn't fit that into my schedule. When I am asked again, when and if I am asked again, I'll be sure to take them up on it. I'd like to know what goes on in the heads or in the policies and procedures that they do to evaluate these things. Okay, any other comments or questions on any of the shows or discussions that we'll be having in the months ahead? All right, one added item here. I just wanted to let you know, one of our interns worked with us for the past 2 summers, Gloria Ramubiza, who is from Cornell University. He defended successfully his dissertation and his work for Cornell in the graduate degree program, computer science, on Tuesday. He graduated, and we're very proud of him here. So, as if he should be playing this back later on, I wanted to see it and hear it. We're very supportive of all the work that he's done. also the work that he's done with KubeStellar on the edge. And we've been working with wineries, dairy farms, dairy cattle farms, and also orchards in upstate New York. So the wineries in California, upstate New York for orchards, as well as for dairy cattle. There is a thought that this work will continue to expand. Galar is taking on a postdoc graduate capacity at Cornell, and will be able to continue to work with us there. And we hope to extend and expand our work that we've done with KubeStellar in the software-defined farm to include now we think we'll be able to get into non-dairy farming or non-dairy use of cattle, beef cattle. And there's I guess a couple of that's starting to take off the use of this system to monitor non-dairy and beef cattle. So we'll have to see how that continues. We'll keep you updated here. All right. That about does it for anything that I had to add. Does anybody out there have any topics they'd like to bring up at this time? Okay. All right. Without any other folks chiming in, I'll go ahead and call it. Thank you all for joining the call today. Appreciate it. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. The invite will be updated to use Microsoft Teams. So we will no longer be using WebEx as our platform of choice for interacting on these community meetings. So please, you will be getting updates to this calendar as just as a function of how Google updates things in the next couple weeks. So if you go to join a WebEx meeting in the next 2 weeks and it fails, that's the reason why. So look for a Teams invite. If you don't see it or you can help someone else get it, join our KubeStellar Slack channel and we'll be able to provide it for you there too. Okay, anybody else? Everybody have a great rest of your week and I'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.